Victory comes to those who strive for it, who goes through pain for it. Victory is never for those people who sit at home waiting for an opportunity to come to them. No, it never happens. You have to be out there. You have to be at hell to push through and earn your reward. This was the case for the 22nd Maratha Light Infantry. The 22nd Maratha Light Infantry had been sitting in their positions at Morapara since the 26th of November 1971. They had been sitting there till the 6th of December, 3 days after the war officially started. The Marathas were charging to go up against Pakistanis. They were done sitting there. They were bored and they wanted action. As said before, the 22nd Maratha Light Infantry was a part of the 202 Mountain Brigade. It was on the 9th of December when the commander of the 202 Mountain Brigade was being replaced by another brigade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Swaminathan. He had visited the brigade HQ at that time when he got to know about this news. This new brigade commander, after meeting Lieutenant Colonel Swaminathan, expressed his concern about the Americans who were coming. The American 7th Fleet was coming to help Pakistan, and the brigade commander said to the CEO of the 22nd MLI, to finish the operations as soon as possible. Hence, Lieutenant Colonel VR Swaminathan presented a plan, a great plan to bash the enemy harder than ever. It was to attack the enemy from the south of Bisapara and to take Barachengram and Bisapara together. This plan was presented through the use of sand models and other sketches. But the brigade commander was not sure whether this would work out. But Lieutenant Colonel VR Swaminathan said that his battalion was prepared. His battalion was prepared, rearing to go, and this plan will have to work out. This impressed the brigade commander and he gave the green signal for the operations to commence. The Marathas were very excited. It was the job of a soldier to see action, and they have been waiting for so long. The first grade of orders for the 22 MLI was seen by Lieutenant Colonel Swaminathan himself. He was briefing his men at 3 p.m. that afternoon when a Pakistani ambush patrol with their MMGs opened fire at him. An NCO nearby actually pulled him down to a ditch that saved his life. Then the men rounded and took them out, but that was the first action after such a long time of sitting and resting. Sitting at Morapara, B Company was meant to stay there. The Subedar Major was meant to stay there with them alongside extra ammunition and to tender the casualties. Yes, the 22 MLI was going to take casualties. It was A Company who moved out first at 8 p.m. on the 9th of December. Then they were followed by the rest of the companies. But it was D Company who had signed up for the victory at Bisapara. D Company was under the command of Major Patil, and unfortunately both Major Patil and the Subedar had fever at that time. Alongside D Company came C Company. C Company was under the command of Major Chandran. The both were moving up and they were squatting after going 50 yards or 75 yards, checking their sixes, checking all the angles, and then getting up and moving up again. They knew that the enemy was very close to them. They knew that the enemy was sitting. They might have any ambush patrols nearby, and they were checking and moving, checking and moving. But unfortunately, when they moved up to their FUPs, a machine gunner crew, machine gun crew was carrying an ammunition box, and pretty close to a Pakistani post at Bisapara. This gun crew had tripped over a branch and they fell down onto the ground. The ammunition, that ammunition box, when they fell onto the ground, they made a lot of cluttering noise in the night that alerted the Pakistanis. And the Pakistanis opened fire on D Company with whatever they had. Artillery, machine guns, small arms, everything was poured down on D Company. The assault was tremendous. D Company charged, but they were pinned down. The Pakistanis knew that they were going to be evicted, but why not give up a stronger fight? It was hard. It was very hard. Machine gun fire tore through the soldiers. They took cover. They returned fire, but they were pinned down. Second Lieutenant Nanavati was leading a platoon, and unfortunately he was wounded. He was shot pretty close to the chest, missing his heart. He had been present at the Battle of Maratha. Then rose the gallant NCO Naik Yellukar. A Pakistani officer was firing madly at the charging Marathas, and Naik Yellukar actually went down into his trench and started hunting him. The Pakistanis around were firing at him, but he kept on shooting them, killing them, and he finally shot dead this Pakistani officer. It was later found that it was a Pakistani company commander. His name was Major Abdul Halim. Soon, the enemy was evicted out of Bisapara. 11 Pakistani soldiers were captured in this battle, alongside important documents that helped the Indian Army a lot in the further operations. Lieutenant Colonel VR Swaminathan met these POWs. They were blindfolded, their hands were tied, and the CO asked his men to open their cuffs and remove the blindfolds. The Pakistani POWs were surprised. They didn't expect such a treatment. They were more surprised when the CO offered them tea and smokes. This is when they really were happy at the treatment they received, just as per the Geneva Conventions. Lieutenant Colonel Swaminathan asked them about any enemy activity at Bisapara, and they said that the last patrol had left Bisapara at evening. They didn't have any other information, but they said that it was the gallant leadership of the Indian Army officers that led to their victory at Bisapara. And they also said that if they had such officers in their own battalion, the Indian Army would have never made it inside Bangladesh. They didn't even see their CO ever, the battalion commander ever, whereas an Indian battalion commander, their enemy, was being so nice to them. They were later sorted out and sent to the brigade headquarters. The brigade commander himself congratulated Lieutenant Colonel Swaminathan for this gallant operation. He said that he had made the impossible by infiltrating behind the enemy, behind their lines. Yes, that is the josh of the Indian Army for the liberation of Bangladesh. After this gallant operation, the 22 Maratha Light Infantry was pulled out. They were sent behind the advancing columns on the 12th of December, and it was under the leadership of this gallant commander, Lieutenant Colonel VR Swaminathan, and their troops, for which the battalion gained such a reputation. If they had been sitting at Borapara, they wouldn't have received this. If they had been sitting at Hilli doing nothing, just resting and recuperating, they wouldn't have achieved this glory. The 22 MLI did well, really well for the 202 Mountain Brigade. This infiltration behind enemy lines was the idea of the CO. This worked such wonderfully. On the 14th of December, the battalion was moved up to Mithapur and were on their way towards Rangpur. To check out my other documentaries on the Battle of Hilli, check out this one and then this one. And don't forget to check out the links given on these battles on the description box down below. Thank you.